Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. A lot of people have got a big buzz when it comes to what has just been announced. And I say just because this came out last night. So if you're not familiar, this all goes back to yesterday with Marvel Contest of Champions Strokos. And I love this guy. A link to his YouTube channel and also his Twitter is in the description below. That's fantastic work, not just for the English community, but also the Spanish community. And I think he does a little bit of Portuguese translations as well, so he's a fantastic asset to the community. So, what did he do? Well, he got this data mined information in conjunction with MCOC mods. Again, great guy or lady, who knows, it's a mystery. But he found out that Punisher 2099 is coming to the game. There was also a little bit of a picture of him, as we can see here. Obviously, appearance-wise, yes, appearance-wise, a very rugged version of the character. A very scary-looking version of the character. Kind of like if Doctor Strange turned goth. Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. The kind of look to this character is futuristic, okay. It's Falcon-esque with regards to a suit. It's pretty cool as well. There's no kind of disrespect to the suit. It's a very futuristic suit, obviously being 2099. And my first kind of thought on this when I saw 2099, that is a good thing. Because it starts us in a way that Kabam are introducing stuff that are a bit kind of unexpected. So that means you could see something like Spider-Man 2099. Because then it would tie it into stuff going around in 2099. And we could have this great idea about a jump in comic books, stories, and also stories in general to a 2099 era even. I'm going to stop saying 2099 and kind of talk a bit about this character called Jacob Gallows. But it's really strange because the character looks a bit like Frank Castle version. So you can see a lot of similarities there between this Frank Castle version and also this one here, which is meant to be Jacob Gallows. So I don't know if they've really got the appearance unless they're really kind of pointing it to be similar. The nose structure is the same. I suppose you could argue with that. And even here. Yeah, I don't know if they've really kind of got the idea between the change of character from Frank Castle and then creating whatever Jacob Gallows would look like. And Jacob Gallows himself looks a bit more kind of... Well, this version has got a little bit more tan to him. And I suppose the looks are getting there, but it does look very much like Frank Castle in appearance. And obviously how Punisher 2099 comes to be... And there's loads of weird things like he's a member of the Public Eye Police Force and Church of Thor, because things have kind of evolved in the Marvel civilization that by the time we reach a futuristic, well, future, that there's loads of different kind of odd things. So there's the Church of Thor. Punisher Frank Castle has been long dead. And how it works is, as always, someone's family gets killed, Jacob Gallows' family get killed, and then, boom, he finds Punisher's war journal, and it's like, nah, man, I'm going to follow the Punisher name and be exactly like him. But different, more futuristic, with a better, more tactical suit. And have big blaster guns, because we're in a futuristic present, future, wherever, and it's important to have those futuristic guns. They've got to fire lasers. It's kind of like Cable meets Punisher, and they've got this big ass gun, or Bishop even. Loads of kind of amalgamations of that, and it's all based on the suit. That's kind of where he is. Where the standard Punisher of Frank Castle, man, he can take some punishing, but this time futuristic Punisher, Mr. Gallows, has learned the lessons of that, and obviously he's adapted to a more kind of cyber-based strength with creating a suit. So he's pretty well stocked with regards to armor. So he's got an exomuscular undersuit, and it gives him enhanced strength, agility, body armor. The suit also can be programmed So obviously things can be changed, and change into martial arts techniques to help him in combat. That is pretty amazing, especially because it's like a techno suit that adapts to situations. That's smart as hell. And a high density heat sink plasto armor. They don't make it simple, do they, to kind of give classifications. It was equipped with a high density heat sink plasto armor with energy accumulators which reduce the impact of lasers or physical force on the body. Obviously, translation to the game, that's very easy, and we probably just say that's energy resistance. Also, obviously, as we know, improved martial arts. That's great. So everything is very kind of tech orientated. You would say that this character should be a tech as opposed to being a skill. I'm not sure how they work it, because it's the same thing, same argument you could have for, say, Falcon, because Falcon really and truly should be a tech, but instead is a skill. So you could say that based on the underlying skill that the character would have, they therefore would be skill. So I'd like him to be tech, but I think he's going to be skill. There's other elements to it, like transportation. We got a HD Stealth Stinger 5, which is a motorcycle, and a black ambulance. So I doubt we'll see either of them, but when it comes to weaponry, I think we'll definitely see that, because as we know, Punisher likes his weapons. And there's a whole kind of spectrum of stuff. So there's a power bat, a 54 Magnum Smith, a 48 caliber Stark Fujikawa, a street pacifier, grenazers, Mean Mule Turbo Kick Boot. That's great. I'd love some Mean Mule Turbo Kick boots. Plasma gas cannon, Vibro Nux Flesh, Shredder Knuckle Dusters. My God. Heat Haze Anti-personnel Dart Missiles, Plas Steel Armor Penetrating Wrist Crossbow, Ceramic Telescoping Machete. What the hell? Auto Targeting Shurikens shaped as skulls. Wow, there's a real kind of plethora of weapons, especially with odd names. So the weaponry that we see here, this kind of... It's not really a futuristic weapon. It's kind of a classic weapon with a sort of twist on that. So what could we say that could be? A plasma gas cannon? Could be. Could be a plasma gas cannon. 48 caliber Stark Fujikawa street pacifier. And any information on that? No, it doesn't say. But it could be. That could be what the weapon is. Instead, it's just not really kind of specific on that. So I think we'll just see what that is when it comes to be. In any case, it's difficult to pinpoint whether or not this is going to be Jacob Gallows or not. I would hope that it would be just a bit of kind of excitement and diversifying something towards something that we haven't seen before in this kind of 2099 futuristic kind of a way. So it kind of sets up some really in-depth and well-structured kind of stories. And obviously my hope that it would be a tech as opposed to a skill. And whether or not it's Jacob Gallows, only time will tell. The next champion that was leaked was Carnage, which a lot of people are incredibly excited about. Appearance is very, very different, I think, to what a lot of people are expecting. I think what Kabam like to do is put their own spin on things. They like to put a little bit of a design kind of spin. So the kind of design work is not exactly going to be comic book related, sort of comic book referencing, but with a good amount of difference. So Cletus Kasady, this is Carnage. Very, very, I'd say, articulate, different take on a character, a very dark character, borders on insanity, which is the worst thing to kind of attach a symbiote to. And to give you an idea, that this is to kind of explain the things, right? So Venom, Eddie Brook went to prison with Kasady, right? So they're in prison. He's got a little bit of the symbiote still on him, of the Venom symbiote. And so what happens is that the symbiote, the little bit of symbiote kind of detaches itself and then kind of sort of impregnates. It was kind of, the symbiote is actually pregnant. I know, very strange. Stay with me on this one. So the symbiote, the Venom symbiote is pregnant. It then jumps on to Kasady, and then there is a kind of a bonding. They bond, and Kasady becomes Carnage. And I think Carnage is the epitome of savagery and maliciousness and everything that is bad about the other symbiotes. So you obviously had the Venom symbiote, the symbiote Spider-Man. They're not so different, except for obviously one is a little bit evil. It's kind of like on an evil threshold. It's like, here's the level for symbiote Spidey with regards to evil presence within the symbiote. Here's Venom with regards to evil presence within the symbiote. And Carnage is off the chain with regards to evilness. So he's a quintessential kind of evil bastard. He's done some terrible things. He killed his grandmother. Killed his father. Killed his mother. Not as Carnage, but that's Kasady. And obviously if you can plant the seed or give power to that with insanity, then my God. It's like a symbiote getting into Donald Trump. It's like he should not have that much power as a symbiote. Symbiote Trump. It's going to be killer. So as logic dictates, this character has no kind of... There's no question. It's going to be a cosmic. It's got to be a cosmic. And is there any difference between Spider-Man and Venom? Yes. Yes, there is. Because the red symbiote suit, as most things do possess, superhuman strength, superhuman speed, stamina, superhuman agility, reflexes, durability, regenerative healing factor. Obviously, we do see this with regards to Venom, so do expect that in some way. But also, there's things like camouflage. Now, before anybody kind of goes, camouflage? What the heck's that about? Well, I suppose what you could do is you can imply something similar to, say, the Hood's ability with regards to going with invisibility. Because it lays, and now that they've got that kind of right, lays the foundations for different characters. So you could apply that within, like camouflaging, that he's camouflaged or something like that, and was kind of blending in, so a lot of the shots would miss. We've also got probably a different set of things, so it's not going to be like Venom, Paul and Venom with regards to things like, the face coming out from nowhere and just like, yeah, nom nom nom, or kind of like boom 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 boom. It's going to be completely different to that, which is great. Another thing that cropped up that was incredibly interesting was, I saw it in a video, I can't remember which Marvel Contest of Champions YouTuber covered it, but they said that there was an article on a Kabam thing where they put out a press release for something and said that they were working on something with tentacle-like appendages from various parts of the body, which hints that it wasn't Dr. Octavius and in fact was actually Carnage. Because that is, word for word, the exact same sentence that was used. And if I'd done the research, I would have been able to kind of pick that up. You know these things, they slip you. Alright, so what else have we got? Matter manipulation, can morph sections of his body, such as hands or feet, into bladed weaponry. That is going to be quite cool. So imagine a bit like Terminator, if you're familiar with Terminator 2. Actually, most of the other Terminators as well. But the T-1000 in Terminator 2 was able to kind of turn his kind of hand into a kind of a big, long, pointy thing, knife thing, and just kind of like obliterate people and just like chop people and stuff. So that is going to be an interesting yet incredibly exciting element to add. Spider sense. So are we going to see... Oh, it's immunity. Oh, immunity to Spider-Man's spider sense. Now. Are we going to see something that would be able to bypass evade? Oh, that I would really like to see, because this could be the Spider-Man killer. If it is the case it does come off. I'm probably going to ignore this kind of Darkhold augmentation, because it doesn't really kind of apply to any abilities that would be, I'd say, in the game. I'm pretty certain of it. Symbiote-infused blood came into contact with the Darkhold. Carnage regained the ability to spread his symbiote to other people and control them. He additionally lost his vulnerability to sonic attacks and gained the ability to sense Eldritch Tome's location. So is that like saying that, well, are we going to get vulnerable? He's going to be invulnerable to sonic attacks. What would be a class as a sonic attack? Would that be energy kind of resistance? But you know, it's just a kind of a speculative thing, really. This is basically the core material with what Kabam have got as a blueprint to then make the foundations of a character for. So that's why I do these videos. Weaknesses, so sonic and heat and insanity. So basically we go into like an insanity, like a rage, like a fury, or maybe even like an unstoppable and kind of burnout, or a berserk mode similar to that. It would be a very exciting prospect of this character having so many great abilities, even the one of a conceptual kind of purpose that he could be the Spider-Man killer that we've all wanted. Because, you know, if you're kind of in Alliance Wars and you're facing off against Spider-Man, or even say Nightcrawler, and you need something that's going to be that the enemy cannot evade, like it's causes invulnerability to evading effects. Now that would be a game changer if that is the case. But anyway, this is all speculative and fun. And what does it mean for the new champions that are coming in? It does mean that this slot here is taken up by Carnage. What does it mean for the slot that is located here? This is Punisher 2099, which obviously still flies open the door for possibilities for the ones here. Now we will definitely see a Vulture. It does seem pretty obvious that we would. And also we'd see probably a few other kind of characters that I said in previous videos. So all exciting times to come. I'm stoked for this. I really am. I think I'll need to do some kind of digging up and comic book history on Punisher 2099 and Carnage himself, because one is fueled by rage at the loss of his family and finds Frank Castle's war journal, and one character here in the shape and form of Carnage, Mr. Cletus Kasady, is a sick son of a bitch who's batshit crazy and insane. So exciting times. Might have to save up for a featured 5-star for this bad boy, or maybe a couple of them. We shall see. Bring on June, bring on the fun. Thanks very much for watching. I've been RichTheMan. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions content, and as always, catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.